come on, make a move. Everybody say it, make a move.
You know, I think I look better than Bernie Sanders. You know, no Schwarzenegger and Terminator, but I'll be back. I'll be back. Anyway, bad luck there, Bernie. 0 for 2 on the high-profile presidential races. Well, maybe third time's a charm. You never know. Anyway, here's Bernie's book. It's a very long and very detailed description of what he means when he talks about a revolution. Thanks to Bernie and his followers, you're now hearing many of the things in this book espoused by Mr. Biden and his supporters. There's one particular passage that, at least to me, was startling. This is a message point that in his, for lack of a better word, manifesto, it's been repeated on the campaign trail, so it's not a gaffe or a mistake, it's a deeply held belief. Now, he tells a story from his childhood about his experiences shopping for a leather jacket with his mother and describes this in words indicating it was a transformative experience in his life. Anyway, let me read you a short passage. When I was 13, I wanted a leather jacket. It was the fashion, everyone had one, and I was tired of my brother's hand-me-down coat. Okay, said Mom, let's get you a leather jacket. This became the shopping trip from hell. It's probably why 62 years later, ask my wife if I'm lying, I still hate shopping and want to escape if I'm in a department store for more than a half hour. You may want to try Amazon there, Bernie. Whoop, capitalism. On that day, my mother took me to at least a dozen stores in search of a leather jacket. We started off at several stores in the Kings Highway shopping district, then got on the subway to the large department stores in downtown Brooklyn and Manhattan. There was no leather jacket in New York City that I didn't try on. Well, you guessed it, we ended up buying the jacket from the first store we had visited on Kings Highway much earlier in the day. It's funny to think about that now. It wasn't so funny then. Now, what do we make of this story? Here's my takeaway. Not only does Mr. Sanders believe that he was entitled to a jacket, but that he was entitled to a leather jacket. Further, he believes that he was entitled not to have to shop for one. Apparently, Bernie has a thing for jackets. He was recently spotted wearing, I think, a $700 jacket. It's okay, though, because it was given to him by his rich relative who bought the jacket from another capitalist. Bernie's leather jacket story provides very clear insight into how socialism keeps its message fresh despite the suffering, misery, and premature death that has always been associated with this philosophy. Socialists are constantly redefining the products and services that people are entitled to, and mostly they do it in this way. Everyone is entitled to everything that most people have. When it comes to material goods and services, the goal of socialism is to make failure impossible. As a living being on earth, when you make failure impossible, you also make success impossible. Why? Because you have taken away the incentive to succeed. Why bother? Having money or material possessions does not constitute success. Earning money or material possessions constitutes success. Now, as we all know, money can't buy me love, but you will find that people who prioritize the security of saving their money over the immediate gratification of buying new stuff are much happier people. Now, it would be great to think we all have enough inherent motivation to strive to make, in this case, a material success of ourselves, even if there was little or no reward for doing so. This is not the world we live in. Most likely it will never be the world we live in. The sooner we realize this and start putting our energy into voluntarily, with a V, helping people we think need it, the better off we'll be. Bernie also talks a lot about eliminating anxiety, and it's true. Too much anxiety can be stressful. On a related subject, I went to Catholic school for 12 years and quite a few masses, and I remember one passage. I think I can remember the whole thing, but if I repeat it, it's going to sound blasphemous.
Damien!
Well, maybe not that blasphemous. Anyway, in the relevant passage, we ask to be protected from all anxiety. Now, even as a small child, this sounded to me to be a bit off. For humans, and in fact for most mammals, there is no life without a certain amount of anxiety. Taking action to achieve material desires can help us reduce anxiety simultaneously, giving us a sense of accomplishment and improving the overall lot of humanity. This is especially true if we are smart enough to buy financial freedom instead of the latest gadget. Socialists, listen please. There is a chance that you can make people happier by giving them some of your stuff. Since you are a human being, it is very likely that you'll stop giving the stuff if the stuff giving is not working. But socialists, there's no chance that you can make people happier by giving them other people's stuff. The motivations are off, the incentives are off, the connection between cause and effect has been shattered, and you'll end up hurting yourself, the people you were trying to help, and the people whose stuff you are taking. Bernie is provably wrong on the facts of his philosophy, but Bernie, baby, Bubba, you cannot be a millionaire socialist and expect people who are thinking like rational humans to take you seriously. It can't work. If the circumstances in our society are so desperately dire that you feel the need to confiscate other people's property, you cannot be simultaneously sitting on a pile of gold. Now, you seem like a nice guy, so please listen, and well, let me know how it works out. Bernie, thought maybe you lost interest there at some point and nodded off. Bernie, I do want to wish you long life and happiness. I know you had a health scare there a while back. Hopefully that's behind you. Best to you, Bernie, and thank you for being human.